Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Horror Room. I'm Travis Bruce, and today I got some excellent special guests with us today. I have Matt, L.A. Frankenstein, and Melody, and they have two amazing series on YouTube right now, the Bits and Bytes Cartoon Show, as well as Hammered. Guys,
Cartoon.
cartoon,
You don't have to stress the cartoon. It's spelled
cartoon,
like a tomb because it's
like a
a
tomb.
tomb of Dracula or something. Get it?
Yes, guys, welcome to the Horror Room.
Thank you, thank you. That's thanks for having us.
Really appreciate
It's-
it. Thank you.
So tell us a little bit about Bits and Bytes Cartoon Show.
Tomb show. Well, it is a short sketch comedy show starring modern monsters. Animated. I forgot. I dropped the lead.
It's okay. You picked it up.
Animated short sketch comedy. It's a 5-ish, 6-ish minute long show where we sort of flip between little monster jokes, little sketches with different characters that we have being sometimes some mad scientists or Max Nosferatu, this vampire who just got dug up recently and doesn't understand the modern world, or it's stand-up skeleton, which is this stand-up comedian who just only tells bad skeleton jokes and just is always bombing. Or Deirdre, the demon vlogger. So we just flip between little jokes of these random monster characters who have modern things going on. Maya the Invisible Nudist starts up an OnlyFans page.
Nice.
As you
I-
do nowadays.
I love it.
As, Robot Chicken meets Daria.
Oh, well, I would say Robot Chicken a little just to give an idea that it's animated and short, but
Yeah.
I think vibe-wise, we want to be a little the Groovy Ghoulies.
Oh,
if
yeah.
anybody's old enough to remember the Groovy Ghoulies,
I remember.
where they're sort of the archetypal monster characters, but they're telling each other knock knock jokes and stuff. So it's this kind of, I don't know, fun monster kitsch thing. And then also cross that with like Daria from the 90s, where it's a lot of characters kind of standing around Riley commenting on their situations or arguing about the inanities of modern life or movies or something.
How hard it is to be a monster in today's society.
How hard it is to be a monster in
Yep.
today's society. Exactly.
And born in the 80s but growing up in the 90s, I agree. Definitely some Daria is definitely tossed in there.
Oh, nice. You felt that? Yeah.
Good.
Yes, I did.
Trying.
So what gave you the inspiration to make this animation?
Well, I think, let me think now. I was trying to come up with different ideas for shows for the LA Frankenstein channel. I wanted to have at least a few different shows so that there was more than just one thing to watch if people went over to it. And was telling her about trying to come up with show ideas. And she said, well, would you ever want to do anything animated? I have this program I use for work that's kind of instructional cartoons. Would you want to do something like that? And I went,
Yeah.
And gave it some milling about and thought, what could we do that would be fun with a sort of monster cartoon in some way, in a fun way, again, because like generally the LA Frankenstein channel stuff is like we're having fun with horror, we like to say. So we're not trying to create horror content. We're doing funny review shows, or we're doing monster sketch comedy shows, or where we have the Marquee Buds, another of our characters, where it's a mad scientist and a skeleton in a skeleton suit and a wolf man, and they hang out in front of the movie theater and argue about whatever they just watched. It's like very much for the horror crowd.
Now, how long production-wise does it take to make each episode?
Oh, we laugh because he always likes to say that it's almost done when it's not nearly almost done. It can be anywhere from a couple months to 6 or 8, however long it takes to stretch out, and getting our amazing talent coordinated for our audio, which has so much to do with how I want that animation to be in finalized form. So the tool that I use that he mentioned is called Beyond. For those of you who may be interested, it's actually pretty easy to do. And you you really want to have that audio as the basis for so much of the triggers. So I can put in a robo voice to get us loosely there, but I know that certain characters are either going to be longer or shorter than that. So it's harder to time. And with some limitations of the tool that also would eat into production time as I'm figuring out solutions, we joke that there's at least always one scene that is just
one sketch each
the
time.
bane of like, oh, how do I work around this, and looking through every single animation option that's available to interrupt at the right time to then carry on with the next one in order to get the character to do exactly what I want to do. So
And she
it's
does
been a learning curve.
all the animation herself.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now, how long did it take you to? Now, I was about how long did it take you to master this program and do your own animation?
Not that long. So this whole thing started in the pandemic. I recently started a job just as everything was shutting down, and it became an offering of my new role to learn this tool and immediately get into things and start creating. So once you learn the basics of it, you can get up to speed pretty fast. So I would say within the third one, I really hit a better stride where I felt like I could be more cognizant going into it and a little more skilled with being able to string things together.
If you watch the episodes in order, you can see if she is feeling like every episode has gotten progressively more smooth animation wise or
yeah. Although you recently said that, what was the ones that you compared it to? We can't say that it's this because it's always been King of the Hill.
Oh, something grander. And
yeah.
It can't be a Rick and Morty kind of a thing. We keep it low.
It's not something that's really polished. We can't with the tool that I use. But I think that'll be the next iteration of where we go. So as we're looking progression-wise of bigger and better, it would probably be a tool that I can use that would provide some smoother animation so that we can really tell the stories that we want to tell. I always feel like I'm cutting them off at the knees creativity wise because there are limitations of what I can do. So he has these sketches where I go, oh yeah, no,
they can't do that.
No, they can't. That won't happen. How can we? But we normally are able to work around the essence of what he's going for in some other simpler movement-wise way to accommodate in general. We don't typically have to rewrite entire scenes in order to get across the message that he's thinking of. So, yeah.
And Melanie, you also do some of the voice work as well.
That's true. Yes, I am the stand-up skeleton. So we have a character there that always tells the worst jokes and doesn't understand why the boos are coming. I mean, it's just I like it.
Yeah, we went and just cast everybody we knew. Instead of trying to cast like specifically actors, we have Rachel and Peter, for example, Deirdre the Demon Vlogger and Lord Belmont Shores are both primarily actors, but otherwise we have a lot of directors and
a musician or two.
Yeah, Shannon Hurley's a well-known singer-songwriter, and like Julia's just got a famous podcast, a horror movie survival guide, and has just got a short film out in festival circuit right now.
Yeah. Ben Eisen's been in a bunch of bands that have played all around LA.
Our mad scientist, Dr. Kilmore, is Harry Bromley Davenport, who you may know from the 80s video store classic Extro and its sequels.
Yes.
He directed those three and a handful of other things I forget. So we've got just James Michael Schoberg, my old roommate, is now the sort of king of underground theater in Pittsburgh, and the guy who did the new Fright Night stage adaptation that's been playing around places is
Fright Night stage.
Oh, the Fright Night stage adaptation, yeah, by the guy who does our zombie Edgar Allan Poe voice.
Just gotta check that out now.
Yeah,
that's in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, well, initially it was, I believe, but now it's the Rage of the Stage Players in Pittsburgh. It's his theater troupe, but I'm not sure where all Fright Nights played since.
Check that out. So I gotta put it on my list now. I love Fright Night. The original Fright Night. I actually like the remake too. Yeah.
Less.
Oh, yeah, it was a decent remake. I mean, so how hard is it to come up with new ideas for each episode?
Sometimes very hard, sometimes very easy. It depends what it is. It's
That also lends into the production time, because there are some things where he knows that he wants something, but he doesn't know what it is yet. So we have other pieces that we've been working on, but we're still getting through what we want that scene to do. He has a big culmination scene coming
I've been
at the end of
struggling just to
season 6.
finish this whole rant in episode 6 for months now, and it's stupid. I mean, I hope it ends up being a really good episode and everybody likes it and is amused by the fact that we do this big culmination of the characters at the end and have everybody doing a thing, but
Well,
it's just not.
There's a spoiler.
It's the whole remake argument, as done by monsters now.
I felt like I was in an episode as you guys were going. I'm like, oh no, this sounds familiar.
It's
I love it.
the horror crowd's favorite thing to argue about. So we've got our monster crowd arguing about it too.
Now, as a fellow YouTuber as well, I agree with you. Like, you have to, I've been doing this for less than a year, but like, you have to have variety to keep people's attention, because let's face it, we're in the years of the millennials and the Gen Zers, and their attention span are so short.
Yeah.
So yes, you definitely got to have multiple things on your channel. If not, you will lose your attention quickly.
There's other stuff on this channel besides Bits and Bites.
We need to get more content is our biggest problem right now, is finishing up more content. But we will have very soon, to whenever you're watching this, there will be new Bits and Bites coming soon, and there should be new Hammered episodes as well.
Hammered.
If you are interested in Hammered, a brief pitch for that.
Yes, let's talk about Hammer. That's also on the LA Frankenstein.
Well, we happened at the LA Frankenstein channel to meet this guy, Lord Belmont Shores, who I don't know how he's still alive. We haven't quite asked him yet, but he's a Victorian era vampire hunter, and he wasn't one of the good ones. He's not a Van Helsing. He's not a Captain Kronos or some noteworthy character. He's that other guy.
The bottom of the barrel.
Yeah. And maybe some of them are true, but probably not a lot of them are true. So we have that guy, and he reviews Hammer horror movies for us. But he will only do so if we offer him a drink. So he gets hammered and reviews a Hammer vampire film, and then usually, what to call it, Vampire Hunter explains the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he, more so than reviewing the movie, he likes to give his opinion as a expert vampire hunter, whether he is or not, on what they should have done in the movie and this sort of thing. So if that sounds kind of amusing, check out Hammered. It's I hope it's amusing.
Now, how do you select the movies? How do you make a decision which movie he will be watching?
That is between myself and Peter, the actor playing Lord Belmont Shores, who's also the co-writer and producer of the show. We basically sat down a while back and said, okay, we're going to do a 6-episode batch as a season. And let's do mostly vampire movies, but not all vampire movies, so that we don't sort of pigeon ourselves with just the Hammer vampire movies. We want to do anything Hammer has, so that we have options to do a lot of episodes, or a few dozen anyway, without just doing their like Dracula output or something. So we came up with basically our favorite 6 that we thought would make fun episodes, with 4 vampires and 2 not vampires, including The Gorgon and Curse of the Werewolf, starring Oliver Reed, which is coming up soon. And is a fun one. If you've never seen Curse of the Werewolf, it's not your usual werewolf movie, but it's pretty cool.
It is. Okay, I'm gonna check that one out.
Yeah, I like
Now, how often do you release videos?
As often as we can, which isn't as often as I would like. Yeah. We've got episode 4 out now, and episode 5 should be out probably next week. So whenever this drops, look, episode 5 will be up soon if it's not already.
Awesome.
Of Hammered.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, so for other YouTubers out there, what is the biggest struggle being a YouTuber in 2023 for you?
Getting people to
just getting anybody,
just the like, follow, subscribe, trifecta.
Exactly what you expect. Yeah, nobody really watches. Nobody really watches the show very much. It's hard to get eyeballs, and it's hard to get people to subscribe or to share it with other people, or you do have a handful of people who are always like being complimentary and sending messages, and that definitely do watch every time we drop something. But it's frustrating just trying to get the word out, and
it helps to have a lot of people involved in it, because that they'll watch themselves. So, and hopefully they tell some people too.
Exactly. I mean, that's the toughest thing I say. Like, I mean, I have one video that has like 4,000 views, and I have nowhere near 4,000 subscribers. So, and individuals comment on my videos, I love this, blah blah blah, but they never subscribe. I'm like, okay, why won't you hit the subscribe button? Like, it's kind of weird.
It takes nothing. And it's not even the sort of thing where it's like on Instagram where people have to have more followers than followees, where it's like a status thing. It's not even something that you can really see. You can totally hide that so that people don't know what you're following or anything. So it doesn't.
Exactly.
Not even a status thing.
I do have hope for the future, though, because my nephew is 14, and he told me probably 2 or 3 years ago that he always likes, follows, subscribes, basically everything that he does. He's like, I know that it's really hard out there, because he was doing a Twitch, Twitch where he was sharing some things, and he's like, I know it's hard out there, and I really appreciate everybody who did everything for me, so I just want to give back and do it for them too. And I was like, oh, sweetheart. So I think the younger generation is much more savvy with things than ours. So I think that maybe
once everyone has tried to start a channel,
bleeding heart.
And what most people don't know is, I'm talking a little about YouTube. It's like, so we have a creator like app thing. I'm pretty sure you guys have it. You track what's going on.
Oh yeah.
And it's kind of interesting sometimes when you see like the audience retention. You see someone like watch the video for 7 seconds. You're like, oh my God, what the fuck was so bad in the first 7 seconds that you were like, no.
On a good note, I think I had seen something about this sort of thing, because I was shocked at first by some of those sort of statistics, but my understanding, you can write off some of that in so much as your video, whatever it is occasionally just getting fed up into somebody's feed, to where if they just click next, it happens to play, or it'll just autoplay. So it's the sort of thing where people who immediately click away because they didn't mean to click on it in the first place, they still count as a click, but as like a 1 second click, so it kills your average,
Yeah, because I was wondering, like who the hell is clicking on my thing in like 7 seconds? Like, you see what the title was, so you expect, what to expect. And like, you see that I'm interviewing like, the LA Frankenstein podcast, so a YouTube channel. So why would you just like, I don't know, it's weird.
Why don't you give it at least 3 minutes or something?
At least, I mean, there's very few things on YouTube I actually click on, and I'm like, after, I usually either finish it or I give it at least 3 minutes. Yeah.
A few, yeah. I mean, it's disheartening how many people would click away after nothing without really giving you a fair shake.
Yeah. All right. So, Matt, you were, before YouTube, you were a award-winning filmmaker.
Minorly award-winning.
Short. Well,
After the Flesh won some stuff, yes.
Yes. So have you thought about getting back in being a filmmaker at some point?
Yeah, definitely have ideas I would love to do. It's just a matter of resources, of course.
Yeah.
It's time and money and crew and everything else. Like, I've got a couple of scripts I'd love to do, or finish in the first place, but specifically even just a short that I'd love to do, but it's just daunting when you start to do the logistics of it.
Yeah, it's tough. I interview a lot of indie filmmakers, and the biggest struggle is, well, the two biggest ones is money, and also getting your project out there for people to even see, so you can recoup your money back.
Well, yeah, the money, you're almost never getting your money back.
Yeah.
You have to make like a feature for 40 grand and be able to sell to Tubi nowadays to really get any money back, I think.
Julia Marchese, one of our voices, Ethel the zombie, is a filmmaker who has a feature and a short out there. And the short has contractually, you can't promote it in these types of ways that she would normally be able to do. So it's been restrictive in her ability to even have eyes on the work that she did, and it's beautiful. It's a remake, an adaptation.
It's a Stephen King Dollar Baby.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So it's one of those. You know the Dollar Baby program? He has like one of those. But because it's one of those, there's all these special rules about showing it and making money off it and that sort of thing.
I didn't even know that it was rules. I thought he was just courteous and like, hey, I like you.
Mostly yes, but there are certain things like you have to send him a copy and like you're not allowed to sell it. I forget what they all are now, but there are
certain restrictions on how it can be screened and shared, and she couldn't post it on YouTube.
Yeah, like I don't think she's allowed to just put it up on YouTube. I forget now.
Yeah. So sometimes it's really hard, even when you have the finished product and you figured out all of those logistics, even just to, as you mentioned, just getting eyes on.
I agree. And I mean, right now, promotion and marketing is, for creators in general, is the toughest part.
Are you looking to take out ads?
No, I'm not doing
we
ads.
Considered. No, we had some ideas for promotions, but we wanted to be a little more established so that when people got there,
yes, that's disappointed.
So that's another part of what we struggle with, is just having enough there to keep people interested, especially as we're still building and it can take a while for episodes to get up. I'm not like South Park, who has all of that stuff and they turn and be very relevant.
Come on.
We had one Valentine's Day episode that we started months in advance and it was going to be ready, and then it didn't come out, I think, until March, and I was like, oh. So we decided no more specific, relevant, timely.
No more, timely episodes.
It's
no idea if they're going to come out on time or not. So
I in particular, I think, don't want to feel stressed about it, and I tell them all the time, I'm like, these are arbitrary deadlines. We're doing this for fun, and I don't want to put a lot of pressure and work late into the evening. I have a day job, like I mentioned, so I have other stuff going on that I need to spend in time with the computer. So I'm fine if it takes episodes a while to come out, but I'm also not running this whole other channel and trying to do this stuff. I'm just a contributor in one piece. So it would be great to have a tool that would be a little bit more of flexibility to put things in, and I can name certain movements that would be nice to be able to repeat and do for certain scenes, but I'm just not there yet. So
yeah, it takes a point, because I get messages sometimes, so, oh, how come you don't have a PX55 camera or something? I'm like, I'm not even monetized yet. Like, I mean, it takes a while to like get good quality special effects. Listen, eventually I want to have laser beams shooting out my head and stuff. I mean, but that's not gonna happen right now. All right.
Yeah, full like school picture looking.
Exactly. A big T-Rex walking behind me. Listen, eventually I will have that, but like not right now.
Oh no, I remember I got very excited when I was gifted a microphone so I could do really professional audio files that would help with my day job and this show, and I was like, oh, what can I do with this? So excited. I had a Yeti, and I was very happy.
Got a Yeti,
yeah. Yeti Blue, baby. So.
Pawn shop, yep. Because when I started my show, I mean, I literally just put piece stuff all together. I was like, I wasn't 100% sure that after a month I might be like, you know what, screw this, I'm done with it. So like, I just piece stuff together and rock and roll with it, see what happens.
Yep. Yeah, you gotta try.
Mm-hmm.
There's. Oh, sorry. Go on.
Oh no, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, I think there's space out there still. There's enough like room for good content.
Yeah.
You can make something that's decent, that's fun, that's interesting. I think there's enough crap on YouTube that.
And I like to think that we fit a niche that isn't oversaturated.
Yeah.
100%. I was about to say that. Like, I've watched your channel. It is definitely fresh. It's definitely new. And it's definitely something that's going to, I wouldn't even say just horror fans would enjoy your channel. I feel like, people even from the outside of the horror.
Even the normies.
Yeah, the normies. So. I'm not gonna say normies, but other people.
Well,
Even the Muggles.
So I'm assuming that you're both horror fans.
oh.
I am since birth, basically, or as long back as I can remember. She is much more recent.
Okay.
But I have an appreciation now that this person and others in my life have started to develop. So it's been nice and a little surprising of the certain taste that would come out. I had no idea.
I've kind of turned her into a horror comedy fan, at least over the past couple of years.
Yeah,
So she's into the Friday Nights and the Lost Boys and the Zombielands, especially,
I
and
like Zombieland. Yeah,
most anything with a sense of humor.
but other things that could go darker, like the Cube franchise, is something I really surprisingly enjoyed, even though it could be harsh. And I was recently thinking that maybe even Saw would be something
Might
that
have
I
to
could
show
try.
her Saw finally.
I'm very good and has been ingrained over my entire life to turn away at the appropriate times so I can get through a lot of the gross stuff that I would otherwise turn me away to see the larger story.
Well, I'm gonna give you a warning. The new one is tough to watch.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Have not gotten there yet.
It's great, but it's
Right.
yeah,
There are
it's
things
tough
that I
to
need
watch.
to be skipping, and I'm absolutely fine with that. And he has a good gauge on where that threshold is generally for me. So I
So
trust
what's-
his recommendations with things because I'm such not a horror fan.
So what's the last decent horror movie you two watched?
Well, we just last night watched a pretty good one called Wild Zero.
Wild Zero.
Was it
It's
called Wild Zero?
a Japanese flick from the 1999.
Really?
Yeah, it was like a 90s Japanese punk movie.
Yeah, Greaser punk, zombie alien movie.
On Tubi?
I wanna watch.
No, it was on YouTube.
Oh yes, I think it was YouTube.
YouTube. Okay, I'm
Yeah,
writing this
I
down.
watched the ones with English subtitles, so look for English subs.
It was out there. It had sort of a live vibe in a way, but like Japanese punk rock version of Dead Alive.
I'm telling you what, right now, I'm like really getting into Asian horror, and I missed the boat, but like, so a couple months ago, somebody told me like I like zombie movies. Somebody told me to watch. People have been telling me for a while to watch Train to Busan, and I'm like,
Oh
eh.
yes, yes.
And I finally watched it. I love that movie, and now I'm doing in this rabbit hole where Korean horror and Japanese horror. I'm loving it. I don't mind the subtitles.
Yeah,
No.
we coincidentally just got invited. A friend of ours this weekend is having a Chinese hopping vampire fest.
Nice.
So he's got 3 lined up. I don't remember the titles right now, but he's got like a trio of like 70s and 80s. They have this sort of specific subgenre of like Chinese hopping vampires.
Nice.
So we'll see.
Yeah, and one thing great about this channel is I get to interview filmmakers all across the world. So, I mean, for everyone from Africa to Ireland to
Who's doing the new
Brussels.
version of the hopping vampire movie?
Hey, you.
Yeah,
Why isn't there? Well,
Hey.
it wouldn't be like really my story to tell exactly, but somebody's got to be doing an updated version of that like classic trope. No,
I agree. But in Asia is killing it when it comes to zombies. Like they are doing it better than Americans are, and it seems like the Europeans are doing great with found footage. And like, if you want to watch even if you're not a found footage fan, if you want to watch a good found footage movie, just watch anything that is done in England. Like they master found footage.
Okay. Yeah, no, that's really not my genre so much.
Because there's one I watched. It was about I can't even think of a name. It's 13 something. But it's about this guy who has like Alexa in his house, and it becomes like possessed by a spirit. It's so creepy.
Kind of like what they were trying to do with that Child's Play remake.
Oh no.
Yes. I actually enjoyed that one, didn't you?
No, not really.
Really?
No, that was another one because it was too much of that. It was too much of evil Alexa, that I don't know,
Yeah.
it feel child's play enough to me.
But that Chucky was ruthless. I mean, he just killed anybody. I mean, the
Yeah.
poor lady in the car. I mean, that was hard to watch.
See, I wouldn't have. I would have been.
Yeah. But all right. So, what are some movies that? What is your genres? Because horror movies. There's a lot of subgenres. What is your subgenre horror movie? Is it found footage that you're not a fan of?
Well, I like a lot of different things, and I would almost say most things. But yeah, found footage is one that I'm not much of a fan of. Just shaky cam in general bothers me.
Okay.
So even if it's not exactly, even if it's not a found footage film, like it's more the shaky cam thing, I guess. So even a found footage film that is, say, like kind of a Holocaust, we're gonna go back to the original, like it's not so shaky all the time. It's not constantly people running and like, let's just overdub some screams and pretend like we did something, so I'm not against the concept of found footage as much as I hate the like cheap aesthetic of it sometimes. But if you do something with it, I can get on board. Whereas I don't feel like too many of them do enough with it, and they over rely on sound effects and just people getting lost in the camera moving and showing nothing, or static, or hard cut
screaming. Yeah.
Just like, yeah, okay, I get it. So I don't go so much there, but most everything else, like I love vampire movies. There was a time where I would have said, like, I've seen every single vampire movie ever made. Of course, you can't make that kind of like absolute statement because there's so many vampire movies. So many. As soon as you think
There's a lot.
No, you haven't seen it.
A lot. There's a lot. And I'm a huge vampire movie fan. I'm like trying to think, what had they made a good vampire movie recently? Like,
did you like Demeter?
It was okay.
That's one I liked it. I wish I loved it because that's one of the things. Sometimes people like to call it mature horror lately, but I don't know if I would say mature horror. But there's one thing that I really go for and wish they did more of. Like I was really rooting for, the like the Benicio del Toro Wolfman.
I was rooting for that too.
I really kind of want. I love the classic Universal stuff, and I'm not against people redoing it, but I want a good proper version. I want somebody to just take the horrorness, take them seriously as gothic horror stories, without mummying it up and making fun of the whole thing. Like I'm fine. You do that old thing too. I don't hate something like the Monster Squad or the Mummy for adventurizing up the characters, but I would like to see a real like the Demeter tried to do. I just don't feel like it fully succeeded, but
it missed it. Yeah.
I feel like it's been a while since we've had just sort of, this is just a monster movie. It's a vampire movie. We're not going to be meta. We're not going to make fun of anything. It's just going to try and be like a monster drama. Yes. What do you want to call it? A vampire movie.
I wonder if they're afraid to do it straight now because there's so much riding on the effects, and if you don't get those right, then so you kind of want to skew it one way or another so that if the effects don't come out just so, it's explained away, or at least you feel better about it because you weren't trying to play it straight. I don't know.
I just feel like horror nowadays, they don't want to put any effort into the story. Like you're saying, it's more about the effects. So like movies like, the original Dracula and Frankenstein, it was more about story more so than blood shooting on the walls and shit. So like, and that's, I think society wants a whole bunch of special effects, blood flying everywhere, like more blood, and less story.
Why can't we have
I don't mind every once in a while, but yeah.
Both, I'd like a good story and some blood on the wall, Yeah. I don't mind a rolling head or two, but it's nicer with a little bit of a plot.
Exactly. All right, so right now, if you could have any iconic horror actor or actress come on your show as a guest star or a voiceover, who would it be?
Alive and Dead.
Ooh, wait, Alive or Dead?
Yeah.
Well, that's morbid.
Well, you know what I mean. Historical.
Oh,
Alive.
talking about morbid, my first thought would be Unhammered. My first thought would be, we would have to get Peter Cushing.
Yeah.
Van Helsing in all the old Hammer vampire movies where Lord Belmont likes to make fun of Van Helsing. So it's like we would have to get Peter Cushing on. Would be hilarious to see him, react to us making fun.
I don't know.
That would be amazing.
But the problem is, of course, he's been dead quite a while, which Star Wars fans know because he was CGI'd back to life about 10 years ago. So morbidity popped into my head just now of like, oh, they did bring him back to life. Oh, which I don't know why it puts into my head, but another random. Have you ever seen Shockwaves?
Shockwaves.
We just zombie movies, and with Peter Cushing in my head. The same year he was Grand Moff Tarkin in original Star Wars, he was also like the one final like ship's cook or something from this German. It's basically underwater Nazi zombies.
Really?
People get stranded on this island where there happens to have been like crazy medical testing going on these Nazis during World War II, and it turned them into zombies, and they've been basically quarantined on the island ever since. But you can't go near the island because they're still underwater Nazi zombies, and they're pissed.
Wow. What was the staying on topic? What was it was a zombie movie that was out recently. It was a Nazi zombie movie, and J.J. Abrams directed. It was a horror movie.
Oh, Overlord, I think.
Overlord.
I don't know if he directed, but I think he produced it.
Produced it or something.
I'm not sure. I think it's Overlord.
Did you enjoy that?
It was pretty good.
I liked it, and a lot of people hate it.
One of the shows on the LA Frankenstein channel that we have not been making enough episodes of, I do called Subgenre Spotlight or Marathon, where I try to make up a little 6 movie marathon of a subgenre. So the only one that I've done so far is about crime scene cleanup movies. But it's
really
a whole overnight thing. If you want to ever try it, go watch this episode and start at like 6 or 7 at night, and you've got 12 hours basically of crime scene cleanup movies.
And that's the thing?
Yeah, all in a row, and it starts out kind of light and it gets really dark by the final movie. And so it's an interesting grouping of movie you didn't expect. Is there such a thing as crime scene cleanup genre? There is. But
wow.
One of the future episodes that I've been working on is about Nazi zombies. But I kind of got sidetracked on it because I heard that YouTube has this harsh algorithm when it comes to Nazis, and that you can't like show swastikas, and just saying the word Nazi too many times will get you flagged or something. So I was like,
are we about to get flagged right now?
Yeah, I was like, I don't know if I want to do this episode now, if it's just gonna like get flagged or something. If I keep showing, shots of soldiers, we'll say, whether they're zombies or not, if they've got the armband, then I think it's gonna flag your video nowadays,
Jeez.
So I don't know. So I have kind of not gotten back to doing that one.
So
Shockwaves will be in that list.
So who would be the actor or actress that would be?
Oh, okay. So who would be nice to have on either Bits or Bytes or Unhammered? Well, I guess in a Bits and Bytes fun cartoon way, it'd always be great to get somebody like Tracy Ullman.
That'd be great.
Horror way, I guess I would go to like Barbara Crampton. Would be fun. She's doing so much lately. It'd be nice to get her on, play a character, or to hang out with. I could totally see Lord Belmont getting a little inappropriate with Barbara Crampton.
See, I want
this is
that
occasionally his way. Yeah, that.
How about you, Melanie?
The Woody Harrelson con.
Oh, okay. Go back to Zombieland.
Go do Zombieland and maybe get some more We only have Ethel. We don't really have a lot of zombies going on right now.
But... He can do a tutorial with this about
no, I think so.
The rest of the rules.
Great. Yeah. Oh, I love the rules.
That's a good one.
They could have done more with that. I wish I liked the second Zombieland. I didn't love it. I wish there was more. Like I wish they'd have gone a little further with it. Even I think you could.
First one was
have a lot
great.
more fun.
Story.
Yeah, the first one's so great.
It was more
It
about
was great.
the personal stuff on the second one.
Yeah, it was still good. It's just, I don't know.
Zombieland.
I think they should make a part 3.
Oh, Zombieland 3. It's totally.
What did the second one not do so well in the box office?
I don't know that it did. No, not well enough for people to be champing at the bit to make a third one immediately.
Don't speak for everybody.
I would watch it. I mean,
yeah, I know. I hope they do.
but I like that guy. What's his name? Jesse Eisenberg. I like everything that he's in, to be honest.
Yeah.
Let me think a second. Yes,
Yeah.
I did.
I didn't really like his Lex Luthor, but most everything else I thought he was. really
Yeah.
good.
Because I mean, he was great in crap. He's great in all the comedies, but he was great in what is it called? It's a Woody Harrelson is in it too. It's and Morgan Freeman. They're like magicians who are like thieves.
Oh, Now You See Me.
Now You See Me. I love both of the movies.
Yeah, with Ruffalo and. Oh, okay. Maybe I will say nothing else about it.
Oh.
Yes, I want to say nothing about
Okay.
movies.
All right, for the future me.
Magician movies.
Okay. Oh.
It's like it's like a magician version of Ocean's 11.
Yeah, it is. It feels like an Ocean's movie, but yeah,
Okay.
with magicians.
Mhm.
All right, I'll take your recommendation. Thank you.
Sure.
Check them out. All right, guys. Well, where can we find you?
The LA Frankenstein channel on YouTube or really anywhere now. Threads and Instagram and really YouTube. Hopefully, go watch a
our stuff.
video. Yeah, like, share, subscribe.
It doesn't take long. They're about six minutes for the bits and bites. Hammer's a little longer, but still worth the time.
And by the way, if you guys would ever love need a voice actor, I would love to be a character.
Oh my gosh, we get volunteers.
Interesting.
All
Okay,
right, thank you.
we'll
Yes,
keep you in mind here for the next episode.
Definitely, we know you're hooked up with the right type of microphone to have.
Yes.
I am not sponsored by Yeti. But I would not choose anything wrong.
She's a mic snob.
Well, guys, it's been an absolute pleasure. Everyone, please check them out on LA Frankenstein.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. We really appreciate being
Eminem.
here.
I'm just gonna call you guys Eminem.
Get that.
We meant in your mouth, not in your hand. Now that
I
I've made
can't
it
wait to have you guys back on. I can't wait to have you guys back on. You guys are so much fun.
Thank you much. Thank you.
Welcome.
Yeah, it's-
Yeah, thank you.
we do not get interviewed much.
Well, guys, thank you for coming to the Horror Room. I'm Travis Bruce. I'll see you guys next time. Take care.
Thank you.
Night.